Finding cures and saving children, that is the goal of St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. One of the countless success stories they've had is a young boy named Mikey. When he was a baby, in photographs, there was a glare in photos that he took. So when he was 5 months old, doctors in Mexico found the cause. He had bilateral retinoblastoma, which are cancerous tumors in both of his eyes. So he went to St. Jude's. St. Jude's doctors fought to restore vision in both of his eyes. He received a combination of chemotherapy, laser treatment, and cryotherapy. He also received physical, occupational, and speech therapies along the way because he was in the hospital for a while. Thanks to the treatment he received at St. Jude's, they were able to restore vision in one of his eyes at no cost to the family. This is just one of the thousands of examples about how St. Jude's has helped families along the way and is trying to help any children with cancers and diseases. For years I've been interested in St. Jude's. I saw a commercial when I was younger about how they provide everything for free. That was the big thing, was, you know, families get no bills. So I did more research on them over the years, and it slowly became my favorite place to donate. So I've researched both the problem and the solution for the purpose of persuading you tonight. So tonight I just want to explain how this organization helps with thousands of sick children and their families, and how the class should help donate to St. Jude. So I'll just start by telling you some of the information about childhood diseases, some of the effects that they may have, some of the burden that it has financially on the families, and finally how St. Jude's will help use your donations. So let me explain some of the diseases and the tolls they may take. So obviously every year tens of thousands of children get diagnosed with cancer or other life-threatening diseases. Situations like this obviously create a great amount of stress for the child, but also the parents, not only emotionally, but a financial burden, which can be an added stress that's not needed. According to the Childhood Cancer Fact Library, the average cost of a stay in a hospital for a child with cancer is $40,000 per stay. On average, pediatric hospitalizations for cancer cost almost 5 times as much as hospitalizations for other pediatric conditions. So this is obviously a tremendous financial burden that you should not have to worry about on top of your child having cancer and their life being at risk. So childhood cancer and other diseases are very stressful, obviously in more ways than one. But St. Jude's prides themselves and makes great strides in relieving as much of the unneeded stress they can while providing best care. So that's their main focus, is to ease the burdens financially on you while giving the best care they can give. So one of the biggest ways to assist in ending these diseases in children and any financial struggle that the parents may face in doing so would be the class to donate to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. According to the official website for St. Jude's, treatments invented at St. Jude's have helped push the childhood cancer survival rate from 20% to 80%. Because of supporters like you, our families never receive a bill from St. Jude's for treatment, travel, housing, or food, which is wonderful. Some people tend to feel that donating to an organization like this might not be fully accurate, and you know, people will have to pay for something. That's false. According to the St. Jude's financial assistance section of the website, St. Jude's does not currently bill or pursue payment from any St. Jude patient. A billing system is maintained for each patient, but bills are never sent to any patient. If the patient has insurance, the hospital will bill the patient's insurance plan or third-party payer, but St. Jude's covers all treatments, co-pays, deductibles, and co-insurance, and any other cost-sharing obligations that are not covered by insurance. So cover everything that your insurance will not cover. So this helps reiterate that the families aren't going to be paying a dime. Everything's covered. You have nothing to worry about except your child getting the best treatment. Another issue people may take with donating to certain charities would be that, oh, maybe a certain percentage of it is being put in somebody's pocket or not being used correctly. Well, luckily that's all public knowledge for St. Jude's. 71% of the money goes back directly into treatment and care, so that's funding of everything. But the rest of it is not going to waste. The remaining funds are solely focused on administrative tasks such as advertising and charities, you know, fundraisers, things like that. So when they're not doing treatment, they're focusing on getting more eyes on St. Jude's with all the fundraisers and things like that to get even more money, which is a wonderful way to spend the money. So the more eyes they get on the program, the more children can be saved, essentially. So now that you know the financial burden can be taken care of for children with life-threatening diseases, so the family can focus strictly on the care of the child. Let's take a look at how supporting St. Jude can benefit you and those who donate. So St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is obviously conquering children's cancer and countless other diseases head on. Since its opening more than 50 years ago, they have helped push the cancer survival rate in children from 20% all the way up to 80%, with their end goal being obviously 100%. And obviously they have many success stories to help back that up. A story on the Meet Our Patients section of St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital official website shows how they help. Quote says, I tend to think of Dr. Baker as Superman, Emma says with a smile, because he swoops in and fixes everything. After undergoing a bone marrow transplant last spring, Emma struggled with pain, exhaustion, and depression. Doctors and nurses at St. Jude not only provided the best treatment available at no cost, but they have experience in supporting children emotionally and the whole emotional time and doing everything they can to help the children. So now that you better understand the impact of cancer, childhood cancer, and other life-threatening disease, the effects they have on children, and how you can provide the great assistance, I would like to ask for your help. I have shown how devastating the financial burden can be of parents having to worry about their children without the financial burden. Having hundreds of thousands of dollars of medical bills on top of the stress of losing your child is something that you or no parent should ever have to go through. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital sets out to eliminate that factor entirely while providing the best support emotionally and physically for them. So obviously, countless children are helped in ways which they might not get if they were unable to financially provide elsewhere. So sometimes people get turned away from certain hospitals. Mikey, from the beginning story, had bilateral retinoblastoma in both of his eyes with a high risk of blindness. This great and cost-free treatment at St. Jude's were able to save one of Mikey's eyes at no cost to his family. So that gave the young boy the gift of sight. So I'm asking you tonight to make a donation to this amazing and generous organization. The donations will go to providing parents financial relief while their child gets the best care possible and the best treatment you could possibly get. Thank you.